Hello and welcome everybody to this Azure Synapse Espresso. My name is Tevas. I'm joined here today by Estera, which means we're going to talk about Apache Spark. And today we've got a treat for you. We're going to focus on Apache Spark runtimes and specifically in Synapse. So, Estera, can you give a brief introduction on what we're going to talk about today?
Thank you, Stan. There are a lot of topics to discuss today, but let's start with showing you how you can create your first Spark poll within Synapse Workspace. So go to Azure Portal and navigate to your Synapse Workspace. In my case, Synapse Spark Espresso demo. On the middle top, you can see the Essential tabs. There is a link to Synapse Spark Studio. I will open that in a second tab. In the left-hand menu, you can find Analytics Pool, and there is Apache Spark polls. Click on that. Then click a new button to create a new Spark poll. In a basic tab, provide a name for your Spark poll, any that you want to. The system will check the name, the requirements for name. In my case is my first Spark poll, or my first Spark here. Then configurations. So the only available size of the node size family is memory optimized. It means that it refers to different categories of VMs, virtual machines, that are used under the Spark cluster. Then we have a node size that refers to configuration of this specific virtual machine. So CPU, memory, storage. Here we have a medium size, means we have 8 virtual cores and 64 gigabytes of memory across all the 8 virtual calls. Then we have an autoscale feature that automatically adjusts the number of workers in your Spark cluster based on workload demand. That helps to optimize resources and reduce costs overall. Then we have the number of nodes that reflects the initial number of virtual machines that are provisioned for your Spark cluster. You can increase it, decrease it using autoscale. We will do that for you. And we have also dynamic allocation of executors. When it's enabled, Spark will automatically add or remove executor based on the amount of work that needs to be processed. There is an additional settings tab that allows you to choose the version of Spark you want to define and also to configure auto polls to optimize costs. Finally, we go to the last tab and create the Spark poll. And that's all. That's it. So that is the one way of creating a Spark poll from Azure Portal. But there is a second way, using Synapse Studio. So I'm switching to Synapse Studio, and here I'm navigating to Manage tab. There is a section for Spark polls. I click on the Create button, and I'm following the same steps that we previously did in Azure Portal. Everything is the same, but just 2 different ways or 2 different options where you can create your Spark poll. The configuration is the same, so you can choose either you are following Azure Portal or you are using Synapse Studio. At the end, you are getting your first or second Spark poll, and you can start to use it from notebooks or jobs that we'll cover in the next episodes.
Awesome. So that basically shows us 2 ways of creating that Azure Synapse Spark pool inside our Synapse Analytics environment. One's through the Azure portal, where you can just go to your resource and just create a new Spark pool from there, or you can head into the Synapse Workspace where we're used to working and just create a Spark cluster from there on. Now, I've seen that you have different types of runtimes there. Can you give us some more detail on that? What's like the sort of a life cycle and what's the difference between all these different versions?
Yeah, so as of today, so April 2023, we support 4 different runtimes. Here I'm navigating to the official documentation. You can see 4 runtimes, but 2 of them, 2.4 and 3.1, are currently undergoing the deprecation process. And the end of life announcement for 3.2 is set for July this year. So right now we have the newest G8 a month ago. Runtime version is Spark 3.3. So we are shipping new version of Spark, new version of Python, new version of data. That is the current the most stable, like the most refreshed. All of them are stable, but the most refreshed runtime version that we recommend to use.
Okay, cool. But basically, we see that we now have the 3.3 GA as of a few weeks ago. Can you show me some cool new features that are in there, and what this means if you switch to that 3.3? What new features and new capabilities you get?
Yeah, happy to share that. Yeah, so the new Spark runtime, Spark 3.3 runtime, released a month ago, shows improved performance. It's 20% gain compared to the previous 3.2 when we run TPCD as a benchmark. It's super boost in terms of performance. So in terms of like features and components, we changed Spark runtime to Spark 3.3.1, and we upgraded Delta version to 2.2. We also changed the Python version to 3.10. And ask about my favorite features changes. So I'm super happy that in Spark 3.3, we fully migrated from Log4j1 to Log4j2 in all the components due to security. And what's good, we are getting async logging and faster logging mechanism. And the second very nice cool feature is Bloom filter join. So here, like as also I use Spark on my daily basis, and I'm doing a lot of joins. So with Bloom filter, we improve. So open source shipped the Bloom filter, and that improved the performance of joins by pre-filtering one side of a join with right now, like using Bloom filter. And here from the Delta perspective, Delta 2.2 improves limit query performance by pushing down limit into Delta scan during the query planning. I'm using a lot of limits, and it helps me to reduce the number of files that are scanning for my query. At the end, that is speeding up limit, like queries with a limit by 10, even up to 100 scaling factor. That's super like beneficial, and I like it.
Okay, awesome. That basically means that we now have these different ways of creating that runtime. We've shown you what the life cycle of those runtimes are. We know that we're on 3.3, and also look out because there is an end of life of these runtimes, and some are getting closer. So make sure you upgrade those runtimes and get all those new features and new capabilities, and also that 30% performance increase that you just generally get out of the 3.3. Now, if this was the first time you're watching the channel and you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want more of this type of content, just subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or anything like that, just write them in the comments and we'll definitely get back to you. As always, from the Azure Synapse Espresso team, this is Stijn, and
Estera.
thank you for watching. Bye.